UNLV Broadcaster Bites is back. Last week was a very fiery episode that also got a fiery response. I'm going to have to report on that. Caleb Herring is here. It's Steve Cofield. We are the only Learfield property in the world that does a food podcast. I have no idea if that's the case, but I'm just going to brag. We score food on the Pro Foodie Focus scale, like PFF, 0 to 100. And we check out the vittles and the grub around the Mountain West. If I am correct, this is our first Mountain West road trip, right? It seems like there's been a lot of season played.
Yeah.
And yes, it's time to hit the road. Hawaii was in town last week. And as Caleb put deftly at the end of the podcast, I didn't go to UNLV, so I'm just going to speak for him. He did. We beat you, and then we stole your food. Because we had talked about Allegiant having this great set of Hawaiian dishes. And by the way, as we're taping, I did not make my way down to what I will call the South. No, I don't think South Central is applicable. I think that's already taken by LA. Anyway, Rainbow and Medora, one of the Hawaii favorites, Zippy's, is now officially open. You know that today was the day.
Yes.
And I did not go down to see the chaos, but I will make my way down there another day. But I'm looking forward to hitting that place. But Reno is up. And I'll give everyone who's listening right now to let out a collective groan. Go ahead.
They're the champions.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You may not like the people of Reno, but I like the scene in Reno. I like the restaurant scene in Reno. As I say all the time, I love Las Vegas, but I like Fremont. And I missed the Vegas that I arrived in, and I got here late. So I got here in 96. Reno is a very scaled down Vegas of like the 80s. Now it's getting built up and modernized, and I don't mean to insult even Vegas of the 80s. But a lot of the stuff I see in Laughlin, I see in Reno. It's just, it's older, right? And I like that. I like the charm of that. And I like going around and finding places that look old and beat up and maybe divey. This is tough for you to say it as a former UNLV quarterback, a grad. You're a Vegas guy now. You don't hate Reno when you go there, do you?
No, I don't. And there are things that I like about Reno. There really are. It's as a place.
That's a
blasphemy.
Drop.
I know, right?
ISO that, producer.
Jesus.
ISO. Hey,
I can't go back.
In our production room. ISO that.
It's going to be clipped. That's bulletin board material. Your own alumni likes it here. I do, though, enjoy elements of Reno. I think there's an old feel to everything, not just the city, where I've grown to like the diviness of some of the places to eat and getting out on the town. There's also a feel on campus, too, that I think is there's an image of college campuses that I get when I go and I see the brick architecture. That's like, it's one of those things. I do like it. I do like it. And then I'm reminded that it's only for a couple days and I don't have to live there. And I think my opinions of the place would change if I had to live there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a city boy and I need some of this modern amenities that only Vegas can offer. So that's my sweet redemption from that blasphemy I spout earlier.
Well, we have a lot of good restaurants we've been to and we may revisit, but this trip's really interesting because I am on TV for this one. High demand for a TV broadcast of this. So Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network is stepping up. Matt Neverett and I will be on the call. Of course, always listen to radio. Sorry, Matt. And listen to Caleb and Russ, and we'll figure out what we're doing for the sidelines. I'm not going to be there until day of. So now we've got a real scenario here. Not that I'm some like highly entertaining person to go out with, but I do a lot of research and I like divey places and I try to be the orchestrator, and then, we take feedback from everyone on the crew. You've also got a different engineer, so we'll see what Triv wants to do. And I got to tell you, we got some breaking news. So, I want to make sure that you go to some good places. You have good reports, good restaurants, bars to score. I spoke to two people who were very irked with us 2 weeks ago, and that is Mark and Andy in the admin, sports information, real bosses at UNLV, and they talked about having a bad experience in UTEP in terms of check that El Paso for the game against UTEP in terms of finding a sports bar, and we both laid into them on the podcast 2 weeks ago, and you went as far as going on this whole lecture from the pulpit about researching and doing the work, and this matters and it's important. If you don't care, right? Kind of like rookies on the road. Then I gave you a chance after we got face to face. I mean, they came right at us face to face, and you said the next week, I'm not apologizing. And they heard that. So then I saw Andy Grossman and I pitched to him. I was like, listen, I'm not going to be there. Caleb has offered to go out with you guys and do the research to show you how this is done on the road. Boy, and his eyes lit up and steam came out of his ears. And he said, you know what? He's not going out with us. Even though he may not have a ton of people to hang out with. We don't know what Russ Langer is going to do. Russ is a mystery, especially in AAA cities. He's got connections everywhere. He may have a special place he's going to. It could be pizza. It could be Basque. It could be Asian. It could be barbecue. We don't know. But I tell you, Andy Grossman looked at me and he's like, no, he's not hanging out with us. We don't like him. And I told Mark Wallington, and Wallington looked and he was like, he looked disgusted. So
I've burned some bridges.
You are up against it. What goes around is now coming around. This could be tough for you.
There's a lot of pressure on me too at this moment. I feel like I have to conduct the research adequately. I don't have you to lean on as the man in the chair, so to speak, of our food exploits on the road. I have to really dive in deep here, take some notes, have some things lined up. I'm rolling solo, it seems like. I don't know what I did really. Me and Mark had a great relationship, but as we both know, food is nothing to be played with. It is a serious thing. Households have been split over the apple pie or who's making the mac and cheese. So food is serious. And obviously Mark and Andy take it serious too, just like we do. They're enthusiasts as well. And we slandered them. I will say we took shots. They pulled receipts and they showed us. But I do not apologize. I apologize to no man. Not about the foodiness. But Reno's gonna be good. I've got things up my sleeve. I've been to Reno a couple times. I know the scene. I just have to make a decision on how new I want to go, how explorative I want to get, or do I want to go to some old, trusted, faithful places that I know have done me well in the past. That's yet to be determined, but this is the start of my research week. You know, I after we this broadcaster bites episodes, they usually go like this. It's just like coaching and going into the next week's opponent, right? You put a bow on it, you make your corrections on the film, and you put last week's away. And then from here on out, I'm squarely focused on the next opponent, the nameless, faceless opponent that is the menu in Reno. I got to get the research done. I got to get the film study. Got to check the tendencies, the local hotspots, and what the locals are saying, what the people of Reno are telling me, and I'll listen to that. And that's how I'll make my decision this weekend.
Well, I think we have to come out of the gates with you may be able to coax them out of this anger zone. We've talked a lot about wings and the wings that we deem some of the best that we've had. And that's at the Lucky Beaver. And we've mentioned these wings to both Mark and Andy in the past. So maybe you can bridge it. But then here's the thing. When you go, boy, there's some pressure on you. Not Lucky Beaver.
I know.
So this
it's like either I know nothing or I know everything.
Here's the risk. You can bridge the gap. Here's an olive branch. I'm going to bring you to the best wings that we think there are in the Mountain West Conference. And then if they're just average that night, your relationship may be just fractured permanently, just severed.
There's no coming back. There's no coming back from that.
You're never getting tickets to a Run and Rebel game ever again.
I might not have credentials when we come back to Allegiant. They might have, like,
And
a special
well,
section for me in the buffet line. I don't
worst
know.
of all, and I don't want to joke about this, the power that Mark really has is unless you fix this, you at 6'3", 6'4", could be a middle seed guy.
Oh, god. Oh, no. Worst nightmare for 6'2" and above, worst nightmare.
Yeah.
No middle seat for oh my god, that would be miserable. At least for the rest of the season, the flights are relatively short.
Yeah.
Now, I couldn't imagine flying to Michigan in a middle seat. No, that's not happening. I would request a seat change for the stewardess. I'll sit
Mm.
at the emergency exit. I'm willing to help. I'll help out
I
if we need to. I'll
I
sit on
think
the floor. I'll sit
I
on the middle of the
I
floor.
think you. I actually I got so afraid 2 weeks ago because they were so angry that I actually most of the trips the rest of the way I booked my own flight. I'm not flying with the team. I'm afraid. Um, I think Lucky Beaver may get it done. Tell people in Vegas why you love these wings so much. You and Nick like had a lot of respect for the wingage.
The wingage, the importance of the crispy crunchiness. Now, it's one thing to nail the flavor of the sauce and the spice. I think most people can do that. Get a good tasty sauce and have flavor in your buffalo wings. The trick is, can you have a wet wing with crunchy, crispy texture underneath that? And very few have pulled it off. Usually when you get your wings wet with the sauce smothered all over the wing, you get some sogginess. The crunch goes away and it just doesn't hit the same. But Lucky Beaver delivered. I don't know if they double baked them. I don't know if it was twice fried, whatever the case may be. They got the crunch with the wet wing with good flavor to the sauce. And that to me is the epitome of a good chicken wing. Is can you make the sauce, the wetness of the wing not destroy the crunch? And by golly, the Lucky Beaver did
By,
it
by golly.
a few years back, and I will never forget it. We've been searching, scouring the earth, the nation, for some wings to dethrone Lucky Beaver. And maybe Lucky Beaver just had it that night. They were on fire. It was a one off, but I can't forget it. They're in my dreams. They haunt me. The Lucky Beaver, chuckling in the corner as they serve me my perfectly crispy, wet buffalo wings.
You gotta for the audience. You gotta listen to the sauces. They've got spicy barbecue. They're called jumbo wings. Spicy barbecue teriyaki Cajun dry rub, Inferno,
Mhm.
triple X, honey garlic, and then another triple X. They've just rebranded as beaver sauce.
Wow. I think that night we went with Inferno because we were trying to that year, if I remember right, we were trying to find who had the best spicy wings. It was very specific what Nick and I were doing. And we were going for the highest heat flavors and like saying which one has the best flavor of them. And we tried Inferno and it was like, yeah, it's good. Quality wings. And ever since, it's been the king. It's been the champion of the wing contest. Yet to find somewhere. If you know somewhere, tell us. Like, please help us dethrone Reno as the best wings. But until then, I will be forced to go back. I will have rebel gear on, but I will go back and I will enjoy the wings at Lucky Beaver.
It's a fascinating joint too because steak burgers are one of their specialties, and then they've got a rotating like flame grill going where the steaks are somewhere between $42 and $60, which sounds high for a bar, which means it must be good. It must be good. So Lucky Beaver could be in the rotation. Now, if you're looking for a party atmosphere, the combo Learfield UNLV and Nevada Cruise went out one night a few years ago, and we had a hell of a time. And with Mark and Andy, sake and unlimited shrimp being flipped into your face can be a problem solver. But again, there's a little bit of risk because if you go and the chef is reckless and out of control, this could be something that's bonding, or you could have Mark Wallington take a spicy shrimp right to the eye and then be out for 4 weeks.
On the IR, like just completely wiped off of the team. Those guys and the chefs get really into it,
I
and
love them.
so a lot of the time it's fun, it's entertainment, and here's the thing, I will always say this, and I say this about, like, got people that go to comedy shows. Don't go there if it's not what you're looking
Oh,
for. Who goes to a comedy show and is just sitting in the front row like a grump the whole time? You go to laugh and have a good time. Going to one of these like hibachi type grills where they're doing this kind of stuff, throwing shrimp all over the place, cracking eggs, making jokes. It's a part of the experience. If you
yeah.
don't want it, don't go. You have front row seats to an entertainment special, right? A lot of these people are really good at the craft of doing this, of cooking and entertaining at the same time. You got to be willing to partake. Otherwise, why are you here? If you're not willing to take a shrimp to the eye, just don't come. And to Mark's credit,
Yeah.
he was willing to take a shrimp to the eye. He took
No,
it.
he didn't take a shrimp to the eye though. That's the
Yeah, it would
risk.
have been great. It's the
Yeah.
risk. It could
Um,
happen, but you got to be willing to go there.
you've uncovered something I don't think I've talked about on this podcast. I love hibachi. I love the teppanyaki. I love the show. I never get mad at a chef who underperforms, and there are some who are like, God, I hate this. Another show. But others excel, and I got to tell you, one of the best hibachi experiences I ever had. Ichiban is a top 5 spot. We had a grand old time in Reno. That's at the El Dorado, so highly
Mhm.
recommended. You guys could go there. Um, Boy, should I tell the story? Because I tell these stories and it frames me as an absolute lunatic. The SO, as I call her, significant other, another female friend on vacation with us. We go to a joint in Mexico in Cabo that has hibachi, teppanyaki. And a family comes in, husband, wife, son, daughter. Daughter's probably 13, son 16. And I'm just watching the table. Like, are these people going to have a good time or not? And as the show went along, the 13-year-old girl was so grumpy. And I started whispering to the two women I was with. And I was like, you have got to talk to her as female role models and explain how important this is to have a good time when you're at hibachi. You need to be role models. And I started getting loud, and then they're like, what are you doing? If she doesn't want shrimp in the grill or she doesn't want to smile, the thing is, I don't understand anyone when there's an onion volcano and someone is blowing a train whistle. How does that not bring a smile to your face?
There's no way that you take life that seriously, that you can't chuckle at a volcano of onions. Like, this guy's making you fried rice and it just looks fun. Like, how do you not get entertained by that? You are a Grinch. Like, like I said, I don't get it. Like, going to a comedy special and sitting in the front row not laughing. Why are you here? Like, it has to take a lot for a guy to, like, bomb it for me to be like,
Yep.
"Okay, that's enough."
I've never understood it.
Never
Just
got
laugh.
to that point.
Just laugh.
Just give it a pity laugh, something.
Take it.
Like, what type of mood are you in? How get off your high horse. Enjoy it, live a little bit. Come on. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and
God.
they work hard. It's a high stress situation. Have you
Yeah.
ever tried to balance an egg on a knife? It's ridiculous. All right? Give these guys some credit. It's crazy what they do.
By the way, with as intense as you get, but especially I get, can you imagine us being the chef with the flip the egg into the chef hat?
Oh my god.
I would go full Chris Farley, and I would repeatedly in front of I would scare the crowd because I'd be like, I missed 3 in a row, and just take my hand on the grill and just be like, like
I have to punish myself.
I deserve that. I think I get fired eventually. But yeah, that goddamn teenager almost ruined my time. But I had a great time anyway. So you got teppanyaki, you got at Ichiban, you got Lucky Beaver. There is a pizza joint pretty close to the downtown area. Is that one? That's Sizzle Pie. That's a good one. I know the guys are very angry about. There used to be what the hell was that place called? I mean, a real dump, but a legendary place with unbelievable burgers for cheap and great fries called Awful Burger.
Mm.
But that's been part of the demise of downtown Reno, kind of dying and being replaced. So we'll see. I'm curious to see what you guys are going to end up with on Friday night, and then I'm actually not there early enough on Saturday. Reno's a really good breakfast town.
It is, and we've experienced it with the place called Two Chicks. Really new. It's not typically our style because it's not like rundown, divey, like mom and pop feel. It's upbeat, it's hot, it's popular. It seems like a very youthful crowd that goes there and enjoys it. But it was good. It was some quality breakfast eats. I am going to I if I remember this correctly, they had a French toast. I am one that thinks French toast is underrated on the breakfast scale. I think people overlook it a lot. It's always pancakes or waffles, pancake or waffles. That's all I ever hear. French toast is the king of the breakfast pastries. So I did not get the French toast last time I went, but I saw someone else order it. And I was like, ooh, that looks good. So I think I'm gonna go try that French toast in the morning of the game. Hopefully, get an early start and the crisp air up in Reno. It's gonna be I think 40 degrees overnight, so nice and crisp in the morning, which is great for breakfast. It's time for hot coffee now. That's how I always like measure the seasons. Like it's iced coffee for the summer down here in Vegas because it's too hot for all that. But the temperature drops below the 60s at night, time to bring out the hot coffee in the morning. So I'll be enjoying some breakfast. I think at Two Chicks. That might be my number one draft pick so far for the Reno trip.
All right. Um, I enjoy one of the downtown restaurants, but it's a place you can go. I think I have the right place here. You can go to very late in the game, and of course, I lost the name here. Where the hell is it? Anyway, there's a good late night place. I like the Gold and Silver Inn, which has been featured on Triple D. That's a little bit of a walk away from the hotel you guys are at. I will throw one out there that I think is really intriguing, and I'm trying to think. Some of the basketball coaches got seated, or let me put it the right way, found seats. We did not. I just got to tell you, Pine Street Cafe, you got to come up with something because you got to order at the counter at this place, but you can't have one person in the group go sit at a table to save the table. So there's a good chance when you order, there may not be a
Right.
table.
Yeah.
And last time I was there, I tried to save a seat for a group of 4. Can't do that. They're like, you got to wait. This person's ahead of you and grabbing a seat. So then I was like, all right, F it. So I went outside and I sat. They have tables outside and I just sat in snow. I'm like, is this what you wanted? Sitting in snow. So in the end, we didn't order. The food looks lovely. I hear it has a really good reputation. I don't like their seating system. So we walked around the corner to another place, and I won't even mention it. It was disappointing because it wasn't that good. It was very plain, too healthy, that kind of nonsense. So,
Yeah. Well,
but
health. Who
I'll
cares?
say I believe there's a cornucopia of places in Reno that we've never been. You have some really good possibilities. I think you can extend the olive branch and fix this relationship. And I'll tell you, you better because when it starts affecting me, then I'm really gonna get angry.
If
Um,
either of us ends up in a middle seat, it's too late. But I
I'm out.
can't.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm just booking. I'm booking my own flights the rest of the way. Yeah, it's too much. It's way too much. But yeah, I think it could be a really good trip. I think it's going to be awesome. And every time I go up there, I find, like I said, I like old school Vegas. I like Fremont. I like Laughlin, and it reminds me of that. And it's still kind of gritty and run down, and there are a lot of pockets with cool restaurants.
Yeah, it's definitely a type. It's a fun thing for me, and you've affected me this way, Steve. I enjoy it. I
You're
enjoy
getting
the scene.
you get a little
I
too
enjoy
worked up. I didn't know you were on the same wavelength as me with the teppanyaki. Wow, that got kind of scary. Um,
it.
can we close on this? Because I mentioned Sizzle Pie, and it's a very good place. A lot of specialty pizzas, a lot of creative toppings. I discovered something about my home area, New Jersey. Um, and New Jersey's constantly in a war for respect. There's an inferiority complex because much of the state is between the whole state is much. The whole state is between New York and Philly. So you got the big cities, and then there are big towns in the Garden State, but they're it's not like Camden and Newark. Newark has some. They both have some professional sports history, but not like the big cities. So there's a complex. I do believe the best pizza in the country is in New Jersey. New Yorkers swear by their pizza. Here's the thing, it's the same. Okay, it's New Jersey people making pizza. New Yorkers who move to New Jersey because they know New York sucks. It's too crowded and too expensive. Connecticut has very well publicized pizza with their Abits. New Haven's very famous. But I met up with an old boss to get pizza here in town. And when New Jersey people go on the road, I'm like, okay, here we go with the G damn snobbery.
Yeah.
And I had an experience downtown where we were entertaining New Jersey friends, and the one is one of my bosses, a female boss, nice enough.
Mm-hmm.
But like even before we go get pizza, because we were going to go to Pizza Rock, which Pizza Rock's been very good to me over the years, hosting a lot of shows. And I'm not going to say I swear by their pizza, but I will take anyone from any region to Pizza Rock, and you'll find something good. Like they have
Yeah.
a real respect for the process, and they have all these regional pies. So they do New Haven, they do New York, they do California, they do a lot of Chicago. They do, I think, some of the best Detroit brick top, red top pizza. I mean, the crust is unbelievable. The pans are correct. So I bring my New Jersey friend there, and she looks at the menu and it was like, but because Pizza Rock is also, you know, they get a little fancy. The
Yeah.
toppings are a little bit exotic sometimes. You can get a bare bones pizza, and I'm trying to recommend the right pizza to her, and I'm like, get the New Yorker, okay? It's got dollops of ricotta, or as she would say it, ragut. It's good, and she just hemmed and hawed, and she had no confidence going in. She's like, this place is gonna be good. I'm like, let your guard down. Then all she wanted was like the most plain pie ever. I'm like, really? We can't expand the horizons a little bit? Then she winds up getting a pizza that's really more of a Central Jersey, and yes, there is a Central Jersey, and a South Jersey specialty called a tomato pie, right? It's heavy on tomato sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They lay the cheese down, and then, tomato sauce is drizzled or drenched all over the pizza. I like it because I like marinara. I like whatever, Sunday gravy, all that stuff. And she gets that, and she's like, I don't love it. Too much sauce. I'm like, it's called a tomato pie. Snobbery.
The only thing that can make the pizza better is if you change the address and make it an establishment that's in
Or
back east.
exactly.
Like, that's the only thing that would make it
Every
better.
customer comes in, they need to have some sort of radar where they're from, and it's like,
Yeah,
just flip Seattle pizza, New Jersey pizza, New York, Chicago pizza. All right.
that's it. That's it.
Everyone swears by their own region. Cut it out. There's lots of good pizza around the country. Be open to it. And, I know your local pizza joint is good, but calm it down.
It's not Italy, okay? It's whatever you're cooking in your place. It's not Italy. All right. So you're second place
Oh,
still, right?
no, 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 no.
That's how you can just piss people off.
There are
People from Connecticut,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say people from Connecticut that I know will swear that it's the birthplace of American pizza. Like that's where you came from Italy to bring Italian dishes. Like they do it the closest to traditional. They know what they're doing in Connecticut. And then it branches off to New Jersey and New York and all the other places in the Northeast. That's just I don't know. Depending on who you talk to, the story changes, the narrative changes. I taste it for yourself. Be open to it. I'm from California. I don't have a dog in the pizza race. Like we ruin pizza from all accounts. California Pizza Kitchen to pizza enthusiasts is like blasphemy to pizza. So I don't know, but I don't have a dog in that race. But I have been witness to the madness that is like our pizza's better than yours. No, our Italian food. My mom taught me how to make this pizza. This is my grandma's. Like, though, it gets really intense
So
when you're talking
ridiculous.
about pizzas and who does it better. And I stay out of it. I love all pizza. I will annihilate a $5 Little Caesars pizza. I have
How
no
dare
shame
you?
when it comes to pizza. I will do it.
I
I
was in,
will do it.
I was intrigued by I think Ryan Fitzpatrick looks like a jackass on the Little Caesars commercial, but I was intrigued by this combo calzone pizza. But the only
Yeah.
thing I was really intrigued by is that they actually do that pizza hot and ready as well, which I wonder how that would work out if they sit there for a long time and they really are hot, fresh, and ready.
It's impossible, it would seem. Like, I don't know, like, the heat can't stay, confined in there too long and keep everything good. I don't
Yep.
know. It's yeah, I have questions about the normal $5 hot and ready pizzas. I don't know what really happens while it's sitting in that box or how long it's been in there, but I know the $5 I pay makes it worth it in the end. I like,
Um,
that's how I feel
yeah.
about it.
I mean, you're getting what you pay for, right? Don't have super
Yep.
high expectations. And by the way, if Little Caesars wants to sponsor all future UNLV broadcaster bites, again, contact our producer back in the production room, and we'll hook you up. So, Caleb, I wish you luck. I think this is a very pressure packed Reno trip because not only do you have to satisfy yourself, hit the hot spots, maybe see if the Lucky Beaver was just a one off. But you also have to mend this working relationship. And we thought we were friends with them, but that's dissipating quickly. Food may be the only way to save this thing.
This might be my toughest trip to Reno, and that includes my time as a player. There's a
That's
lot of
right.
pressure on this moment. There's a lot of pressure.